Okay. Turn me up a little bit. Oh, you know it's about to happen. We all good. We going in. Count it off. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game, I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. Top chef, yeah. Back in the kitchen, whipping up a dish to kill the competition. Yeah. Intermission over, last back to business. Genie in the bottle gave me 3 wishes. Woo. Wish 1, wish 2. I ain't need a third. Didn't even need a 2. I just kept it on. The powers opposites is in my uniform. And got a mystique tipping like a unicorn. Can't you see the hunger in my eyes? As I'm staring at the people on the other side. Like I'm walking around with a loaded 45 finger on the trigger. It could go off in here anytime. Bow, bow. Ain't no warning shot. If you hear that pistol pop, it's a man down. And I tried to tell them last time, but I guess they didn't want to listen. Now listen what they saying now. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game, I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. Simple as it might seem, it's a complicated situation. You can't handle it if you ain't got the patience. Process of elimination, narrow down, liquidate. Yeah. Cleaning up my house for a dinner date. At the dinner table with my dinner plate. Eating 2 steaks, repping 2 states. I think it's time to renovate. I need a bigger space. My own lane on the interstate. Private plane and a runway. And a fine flight attendant that'll get down with it both ways. I don't even take a suitcase. I just get the way I'm going, get out looking for the new thing. Trying to show you how I do things. So it won't be no surprises when I come through like the Wu-Tang. Cause I came to bring the pain. But it ain't gonna be no method to my madness, man. Know what I'm saying? I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game, I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game, I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. Okay. Turn me up a little bit. Oh, you know it's about to happen. We all good. We going in. Count it off. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game, I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. Top chef, yeah. Back in the kitchen, whipping up a dish to kill the competition. Yeah. Intermission over, last back to business. Genie in the bottle gave me 3 wishes. Woo. Wish 1, wish 2. I ain't need a third. Didn't even need a 2. I just kept it on. The powers opposites is in my uniform. And got a mystique tipping like a unicorn. Can't you see the hunger in my eyes? As I'm staring at the people on the other side. Like I'm walking around with a loaded 45 finger on the trigger. It could go off in here anytime. Bow, bow. Ain't no warning shot. If you hear that pistol pop, it's a man down. And I tried to tell them last time, but I guess they didn't want to listen. Now listen what they saying now. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game, I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white house for a dinner date. At the dinner table with my dinner plate. Eating 2 steaks, repping 2 states. I think it's time to renovate. I need a bigger space. My own lane on the interstate. Private plane and a runway. And a fine flight attendant that'll get down with it both ways. I don't even take a suitcase. Nah, I just get the way I'm going, get out looking for the new thing.
Oh, happy day. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Another day. The Donnie and Anthony show, the DNA show, because we saw today the black and blue, it runs through our DNA. Speaking of DNA, Donnie and Anthony, we're your hosts today. Hey, as you can tell, we're in a good mood. The Carolina Panthers, they've done it. They've won a game. That's 2 wins for us today, but it's against a division rival. And I never thought we'd say this. A lot of people probably never thought we'd say this year. But the Panthers, 2-0 in the NFC South. Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? And yes, today we're talking about Tampa Bay Bucks at the Carolina Panthers reaction. So, man, first and foremost, Donnie, right off the bat, your thoughts on the performance of the Carolina Panthers today as they won 21-3. Yeah. Yep. Yep. For sure. Yeah. Uh, Actually, give us another recap there. We had a mishap. Your mic's muted, but give us a short version of your how excited you are about today's win.
Oh my bad. No, I was just hey, listen, I'm through the roof, man. Like anytime you can beat a divisional opponent like Tom Brady, and win at home is a big thing, man. So wasn't expecting it, but I'll take it any day, man. It's always good to hear Sweet Caroline play in the stadium, and I'm super grateful, man. This team has so much potential, so much talent,
Yeah.
and I can't what the future holds, man. So
Yeah.
with all that being said, I'm happy.
Yes, sir. As you mentioned, we'll dig into C-Mac here in a little bit about the trade and everything. But basically, yeah, like you said, anytime we beat Tom Brady, it's a good day. But that was something on my end, sir. It wasn't nothing that you did muting the mic. I didn't unmute your mic. But
You're all good.
so technical difficulties. Anyway, so yeah, man. Anytime you beat Brady, as you said, it's a good day, and division opponent as well. So 2 birds with 1 stone there. So, but I wanted to take a little bit of a deeper dive into the game today and highlight some good things that happened today. All right, so on the offense side of the ball, I think there's another technical difficulty I'm looking at. So there's some there's some things that wasn't changed. That's on the defensive side of the ball. I think I'm reading it. Am I reading that right? Yeah, something I didn't change there. But the offensive side of the ball, we had like 170 yards passing and I think over 180 rushing, something like that. I'm going off the top of my head here. So let's skip forward a little bit deeper dive into the offense. All right, so but on the offensive side of the ball, PJ Walker was the standout today. It was 16, 22, 177 yards and 2 touchdowns, which gave him a rating of 126 or 126.5. So PJ Walker is now 3-1 as a starter, a Panther starter. So pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Um, Also, right behind him, running backs. First game without Christian McCaffrey. What did they do for us today? Chuba Hubbard, Chuba Hubbard, and Dante Foreman both one. Foreman carrying the ball 15 carries. And Chuba had 9 carries. Chuba ran for 63 yards while Dante ran for over 100, 118. And his longest run in his career was today. He had a 60-yard run earlier today. Chuba ended up scoring once, and they both got in on the passing game a little bit. Both of them had 2 receptions. Chuba for 10 yards, and Dante for 27. So if you hear a 2-year-old running around, it's my son. So, but
Yeah.
shout out to Connor. We'll see. He's got his Panthers gear on too. So, and now let's try to take a look on the other side of the ball, the defensive boys. All right. So on the defense, that's what you saw earlier. It wasn't changed under the thing, but hey, that's what happens. So on the defensive side, we allowed 322 yards. 276 of those was from passing, 46 of those were rushing. So rushing was held under 100 yards, but I think Bucks are like kind of last when it comes to the running game. And also the Bucks were 2 for 12 on third down. So that's good. We didn't let them continue to keep going and going. We didn't have any turnovers, but we did have 1 sack. So that's pretty good. And we only allowed 3 points. Only allowed 3 points to the Tampa Bay Bucks and Tom Brady. And the Bucks and Brady were 0 for 1 in the red zone. So we had a good stand there. Ended up kicking that field goal, and that was the 1 field goal they had. They got close enough for a field goal. So, but that's what we got, man. That is a good game by the boys. So, back to us here. Your thoughts, Donnie? What do you think this Panthers team is like without Christian McCaffrey? It's the first game without Christian McCaffrey, and we're looking at almost a new team here. And we don't even have our first string, our second string, our third string quarterback. We are down to our 4th string. But today came out the way it did. Talk about it.
Yeah, man. I mean, so first and foremost, man, shout out to Christian McCaffrey. Gonna miss you, man. It was a hell of a ride. We drafted actually my freshman year in college. I was at Western Carolina. I'll never forget sitting in the cafe when he got drafted. I was going nuts, man. So first and foremost, man, shout out to Christian McCaffrey. All of his contributions in Carolina. Definitely sucks to see him go, but I'm rocking the 22 today, man. So
yes, sir.
Big shout out to him. Yeah, Anthony is too. But I'll say this.
We'll get into him here in a little bit, and give him our last thoughts. But yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'll say this, man, and to all my fellow Panthers fans, listen close, because I don't mean it in a negative way. We all can agree that Christian McCaffrey is a once in a generational kind of talent at running back. I mean, we haven't saw many of them. You've had ones like Marshall Faulk. Then you got Christian McCaffrey, both cut from the same cloth, just exceptional talents. But one thing we can agree on is that when Christian was here, he was too much of our offense. Yeah. Not his fault. Not his fault that he was so faceted as far as his game. Not his fault that he was super versatile, but I mean, it held us back. As you see today, we had 2. We went running back by committee today, which is something that we've done well in our history. Goes back to Stephen Davis and Deshaun Foster getting touches together. You also have Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams sharing touches. That's just what we've been really built of in our time. Not a shot at Christian, but it's never a good thing when your running back's about 90-some% of your play usage. So today we definitely made Ben McAdoo think outside the box. We got DJ involved. Who's been needing a lot of targets this year, man. I was happy to see him involved today. Very, very great player. We got to see Dante Foreman show out today. We got to see Chuba Hubbard show out today. Tommy Trimble got open. PJ Walker looked a little bit more comfortable back there because he knew he had to really think it out. Right. Made the shout out to the today too. Offensive line played exceptionally well. I will say this.
No
This right
sacks
here
allowed.
shows
No sacks allowed by them today.
blocked amazing against the run.
Yes.
Excuse me. So I'll say this, man. Moving on from Christian was a good idea. Not because he was a nuisance to have on the team, not because he wasn't producing, just because and I say this lightly, no one take it in a literal sense. Just think outside the box here, like the McAfee had today. Getting rid of Christian McCaffrey was beneficial to us because now it's helping us spread the ball out more. There's more threats now. Harris Marshall Jr. got touches today. We saw Laviska Shenault in the game. Like I brought DJ Moore. We haven't heard from Tommy. We haven't heard from Terrence Marshall Jr. So that's what I'm saying. We got these guys involved, and it was pivotal in our win today, man. And like I said, PJ Walker looked exceptional. And it's because he knows that he's got a running back by committee that he can lean on, and he's got the target. So shout out to the offense and shout out to our bounce back as a team.
For sure, yeah, and it's a different. It's weird when it's almost like you're living in a twilight zone. You get rid of your best player, and people are saying, "Oh man, that's it." But there's a new identity. We're not relying on one guy. So I've seen a different team out there. But let's keep it going. Let's keep this fire burning. So and with that, I want to open up the phone lines just for a little bit. If you want to call in, tell us your thoughts. There's a phone line there, 910-912-7545. Or you can chat us right there, right here on YouTube. Send us a chat. Tell us what you think. The past couple of weeks we weren't able to get on. Either I was busy or Donnie was busy, so I think we missed the Rams, and the week before that
Yeah.
was who we played the week before that?
Played the Cardinals.
Cardinals, yeah. So did we miss the Cardinals? I don't think we did the Cardinals. Anyway, so yeah, it was the last game as we saw Christian last game. Even up until late third or fourth quarter, the defense held to 10. So this defense is there. Also, we've been hearing rumors. Yeah, Christian. It's no unless you've been living on a rock. Christian's been traded, but we were contacted by teams. One team in particular, not sure who, offered 2 draft picks for Brian Burns. They said not no, but hell no. So that's good. Even the people remaining, Scott Fitter and some of the team, and even Tepper, I guess, is realizing that pieces are here. There's some great pieces that have here. We're not in dire poverty. It may look like it, it may smell like it, but someone just farted. That's all, and we just got to get through the stink. And and once we get through that, and once it clears out, as soon as we roll the windows down and get that stank out, we still got people in the car that can drive and get us to our destination. So how about that for a comparison? So but I believe in this team, man, and with today's win, I'm not jumping on it and saying that's it, Super Bowl time, but we get a chance to see what this team is made of and what we can do. They still got more to prove to me. I'm sure they got more to prove to us, to everyone. But man, it's all there. It's there for us, and yeah, light at the end of the tunnel, and it got a little bigger, but we're still trying to get there. We're still driving there. Yeah, we got the windows rolled down. Someone just farted in the back seat. Turn the air on. So, but we'll get there, man. What's your thoughts so far, man? Even though it's just one game today, because that's what people are saying. What do you say to those that are already out there on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook? Well, the rest of the season's still gonna be bad. And then you got another half. It's like it's all been negative. It's like half is saying, well, it's just one win, it's just one game, whatever. What's wrong with Tampa? It's not how good is Carolina, it's what's wrong with Tampa. And then you got another half that's saying, well, we should have lost so we can tank. The whole tank idea, So touch on both of those if you would, sir.
Well, gotcha. Well, first and foremost, man, hey, game ball to me goes to the defense. Did a hell of a job today.
Yep.
We got a good defense, man. The play's been up and down. this year. Not I wouldn't say up and down, but I think we have finally found an identity in this defense. Um, so I just want to give a major shout out to this defense. Defense looked exceptional. Holding Tom Brady and company to 3 points says a lot about how good this defense has potential. The amount of potential this defense has in the near future. As far as the fans wanting to tank and all that nonsense, you can't convince a grown group of men to say, "Hey, go out there and lose on purpose." I think soft organizations do that, and your first overall pick is never guaranteed to be a good one. Like I said, you take a close look at what Ron did in his first 3 years of Carolina. They always kind of start rocky, minus the 2015 season. Kind of start off a little rocky, but his first 3 seasons were pivotal because he was on the hot seat for 2 out of 3 of them, and everyone's like, "Well, might as well tank, might as well go for the number 1 overall pick." We finished out strong. We kept pounding. The right picks fell in our lap, and we had sustained success for the most part. I don't care what anyone says. We were a good football team because we played. Good things happen to good people at times. I know bad things happen to good people. I know that saying, but good things happen to good people too down the line. It's just not as well, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's worked in our favor. Good things happen to us because fans like you and I and, the other dozen that we have, the other fans are wishy-washy, which I'm disappointed in. And we'll talk about that some other day. But
Yeah.
The future is bright, man. We're not tanking. I'm not for that tanking shit. I think the season will play out the way it needs to be played out based on how we perform and what kind of talent we have, which we have a ton. I just think we need to be led. I think Steve Wilkes is a great leader. His hands are kind of tied. I mean, he's working with a 4-string quarterback who was honestly supposed to be cut in the preseason. What he was able to do today to accommodate, PJ's weaknesses or whatever. He looked great today. And as for the Brian Burns thing, real quick, I'm very proud of Scott for standing firm and tall. Very intriguing offer, especially depending on where the picks were and who they were from. Man, that takes a lot of skill, but that shows me that this organization has a lot of confidence within the house to say, "Hey, we got the talent on this team. We don't need to trade him away." Brian Burns showed his ass today. He looked really good. We need to keep him here, and there's a lot of pieces to be built for the future. Like I said, I honestly think, realistically, you put a quarterback in here and you give us a head coach, we're a threat. So that's just kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna close up the phone lines here. We'll give us right here next. We're gonna give us our final thoughts. All right, final thoughts on Tampa Bay and Carolina today. At the beginning of the game, I saw empty seats. Social media, Twitter, I saw empty seats, a lot of red. And that's gotta hurt the players on the field. I know they look up there and they see, and they're still getting paid, but it's kind of like, man, that's. But I kind of expected that with the way the season's going, and C-Mac just left, and you probably got your number 1 jersey seller. I mean, for Christ's sakes, both of your hosts right here, right now, are both wearing that player's jersey. We'll get into that. I'm proud of this team, man. I always will be. They went out there and they played on both sides of the ball. And you just made a good point, Donnie, that PJ Walker was supposed to be cut, if you guys think back, because the roster was probably going to end up. I mean, there's no team in the NFL that has 4 quarterbacks. Remember, it was Baker's named the starter. Sam was going to back him up, and our 3rd-string rookie guy, Matt Crowell, was going to be our 3rd string, but he ended up hurting his foot. And not too long after that, Sam did the same thing, but Baker was still in there. But since 2 guys were down, well, mainly because Matt Crowell was down, out for the year before the season even started, they kept PJ. And now here we are, 4th-string guys out there doing this thing for today. 3-1 as a starter, 2-0 in the NFC South. A lot of season to be played. No, we should not tank. We should not. I'm not saying we shouldn't tank because we're going to go to the Super Bowl this year, is not what I'm saying, but that is a weak-minded thing to do. So let's say we tank. I'm just going to do it real quick. I'll touch on this just a minute. Let's say we tank on purpose. You convince all the guys to go out there and lay down, wrestling style. The Kevin Nash poke. Boom, down. 3 count by Hogan. Anybody remember that, wrestling fans? So, and then we get first pick. Then say we draft Bryce Young. Then say he ends up being a bust. I'm not saying he's going to be. Relax. But I know somebody out there just went, all right. Relax. Not saying he's going to be, but let's say he is. You never know until they get out there. Let's say he's a bust. Then guess what? Laying down last year, it just also went to waste. So that's just not a good idea. You always go for the win. You always go for the bowl, the Super Bowl. We're a little bit away from being a Super Bowl type team, but this is the NFL, as we saw today. Nobody picked us to win today. Nobody. And who's to say that this isn't a turnaround like we had some years back with Cam on 10-game win streak? Who's to say we won't go to the Super Bowl? I'm not saying we are. Relax. I saw you get all crazy again. I saw you. Not you, sir. I'm talking to the audience.
Yeah,
But no one said 15-1 in 2015. No sirree. Not with Kelvin Benjamin going down. I didn't even say it. So, all in all, it was a good day. To me, our biggest rival, just because of the era I grew up in and when I became a Panthers fan, Tampa was our rival back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. So Tampa has always been our biggest rivals to me. I think for Donnie, it's the Saints, and then if you ask every other Panther fan, it's the Falcons.
yeah.
So, but it's a good day to win, especially against the one they call Brady Tom. So, I'm happy, and that's the end of it. Passing it to my man. Take us home on your final thoughts for Panthers win 21-3.
Look, guys, we're not loaded with all pros on, each side of the ball at the current moment. However, there's a lot of gems that not a lot of people know about. So I think today showed what kind of talent we had on this football team, and they've shown flashes while they've been on the team. So I think going forward, man, we just got to just continue to play hard. Continue to get these guys reps too. Listen, man, we got to get these guys reps. I was proud to see how the way Hayes played today. I always forget his first name. I'm just happy to see the depth play exceptionally well today. The future is so bright, man. Everyone went crazy, said, hey, let's rebuild. Not necessary. Not necessary at all. You have an edge rusher. You got a shut down cornerback. You have a stud at safety in Jeremy Chin. Okay? You have a Derek Brown who's playing really well. On the offensive side of the ball, you have DJ Moore, who is an exceptional talent. You have 2 running backs. I'm not saying they're all pro, but they're solid running backs, as you saw today. A damn good offensive line, something that rebuilding teams are in desperate need of. Okay? Bad teams don't have bad offensive lines and,
Right.
good defense. So let's be patient here. Was I confident coming into today's game? I'll be honest, no. And I don't think many people were, especially with the way our play's been this year and how lackluster we've been. But the flashes that we've had have shown that good things are brewing in Carolina. It may not happen overnight. It may not be instant grits or the shit that you put in the microwave and is done and ready to be eaten. It's not. We may not be looking at something like that. But however, we may not. Like I texted you this morning, Anthony, when you asked me my thoughts about the Brian Burns thing. 2 first-round draft picks sound quite appetizing to a team that's looking to retool and to get younger. But, I mean, Brian Burns is 24 first and foremost. So you can't really get much out of that. Okay. Secondly, speaks volume of us trading out such a significant offer. Speaks volume of how we see ourselves and what we could do in a short amount of time. And about what we have on this football team. So just be patient, guys. Let's keep fucking pounding. I know everyone's like, oh, that's such a cliche. Seriously, man, it's not. It's stitched in here. Okay, it's stitched in here.
Yes, sir.
You know, you put the fucking jerseys on. You go to the games. Why would you not keep pounding? You turn it on like I do. I don't give a fuck if we're losing by 40 some points. I turn it on because I still believe that keep pounding is a thing. Okay, just
Mhm.
because just hey, listen, one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time, Anderson Silva, GSP, all have got their ass whooped once or twice.
Mhm.
Ha- Happens. But guess what? The motherfuckers kept pounding, became champions, and went to walk a beautiful life and a great career. It's gonna happen. It's football.
Yep.
Not every day's your best. You hey, listen, you're relying on 11 guys on each side of the ball to do their fucking thing. Keep pounding is all I gotta say. Very impressed by the way our young core is coming together, especially with such a hellacious turnaround with the firing of Coach Rule and
Yeah.
the trading of a franchise player and a Panther great, Christian McCaffrey, man. So there's a lot of promise here in Carolina, guys. You just have to be patient. We try to do it the instant grits, instant way of doing it. Be patient. It's coming. I promise it's coming. I had a dream. Hey, listen, I swear to God, I had a dream maybe sometime earlier this month that we made the Super Bowl. Like I said, that one with the same guys we have on this roster. I feel like that's God telling me, hey, be patient, man. It's coming. I I know it's coming. So, man, with all that being said, I don't want to go on tangent. Keep pounding. I'm proud of our guys, man. I'm gonna keep supporting and keep loving like always.
Well, sir, you mentioned keep pounding. You mentioned that it's inside of our jerseys. And speaking of the jerseys, if you look at what both of us are wearing, is those deuce deuce. So we want to give our final thoughts and our respects to one of the Panther greats, Christian McCaffrey, and our thoughts. Here we go. So our thoughts on the Christian McCaffrey trade. Um, man, his time here was incredible. We both got to see him in person. He's a specimen. His legs are tree trunk legs. That's the first thing I noticed. So like, good lord, it's a big old dude. Ain't small, not a small guy. But I remember I went to I think he had 3 touchdowns. A game I went to with my stepfather. And he even said next to me, he said, "Man, he is slicing and dicing through that defense," and that was a good way he put it. Yeah, because and that's been his whole style. And man, I mean, he did it all. He's the third player in the history of the NFL to have 1,000 receiving, 1,000 rushing. Wow, wow. So, um, yeah, when we got him, to be honest, I didn't know much about him because I have to learn more about college before. Yeah, but yeah, man, he's one of my all-time favorites just to watch. Even when we were losing, man, he gave it his all. Uh, everybody says that. Every player, every coach says how much just how he practices. They're like, man, forget how he plays. How he practices is what we love. And he does every rep like it's his last, or yeah, and he runs through. They said they had to. I heard a story. Steve Wilkes said back when he was first with the team during that his early career that they would have to get onto him because he would run a drill and he'd run after the play he'd run 60 yards. He'd run all the way to the touchdown even though the play ended back at the 20. He'd run the rest of the field because that's how he was. So and that's the kind of player that you need. With that being said, need yeah, at times we needed him. At times he came through. The famous you've been watching film, huh? Yeah, okay, that's cool. Watch this. Guess who he threw the ball to? Threw the ball to C-Mac because he knew that this was over. He was a nightmare matchup for linebackers, and this the the false story of him not being able to run through the tackles. You need to go back and watch some film because he ran through the tackles, between the tackles, outside the tackles, up the middle, on the center's ass, up your ass, up their ass. He did it. He could do it all. So, um, sorry, checking on my son. But he was in his Panthers gear, and if he has C-Mac jersey, I put it on right now. So anyway, man, and now the big question is who wins? Well, for the Panthers, we won't know. Some are saying, well, today shows that we won. It's like, well, sure, it shows that the guys behind them learned a little something. Good. Now we got 4 picks for him in the future. those picks that we got for them, we got to draft right. And if they, in return, if they play right for us, then we won. And it's possible for both teams to win. You don't have to choose. You don't have to say, well, did the 49ers win that trade or the Panthers win the trade? Yeah, we could both win. That's why it's a trade, fair trade. So I hope he does well. Hey, Christian, from the DNA podcast, the Diane Anthony Show, to you out there in Cali now. Hey, man, I hope you go out there and ball out. I hope you come home with a ring. Deserve it. Great player, great guy. And, hey, it was an honor, sir. Donnie, thoughts on Mr. Deuce Deuce?
Well, it's kind of hard to follow what you said. You had a nice soliloquy there, man. You said you touched practically everything I was going to touch on. Again, man, I was 19 when C-Mac was drafted. I was at Western Carolina. It was my freshman year before I transferred to Pembroke. I'll never forget. I was an LSU fan. I still am an LSU fan. Leonard Fournette came out in the same draft class. And I remember just in anticipation, I was like, I'm cool with either one, but something telling McCaffrey might be the pick for us. McCaffrey and Cam. I could just see that. And never forget, I was sitting in front of Witch eating eating Witch with my plain ass, eating a sub with only chicken and cheese on my sorry plain ass. I never damn near dropped my sandwich when drafting him. And I wasn't trying to be loud because I was by myself like a weirdo. And I remember going to the room being happy as hell. All I could do is just watch Christian McCaffrey highlights. Watch him. Just. And I remember there was a lot of criticism of him coming out. In his first year in Carolina, he was very underutilized. And I told a good buddy of mine, Mr. Gompers, a.k.a. Mr. Geishorn, if you're listening to this, I'll never forget, I was driving back to Pembroke. Cal was like, man, I don't know how I feel about Christian McCaffrey. Man, he's real small. I said, no, he's just underutilized. And it seems like after I made that statement, the following year, man, he just took off. He had a great rookie year, too, but he just took off. Yeah. As a runner, he defied every odd. I can't run between the tackles. He did that and more. He doesn't have breakaway speed. Defined that and more. Outran some of the fastest players in the league. I'm not sure how he'll match up against top-notch corners. Well, not only did he beat corners, he's beat linebackers. He's beat safeties. He's beat plenty of guys. He's a matchup nightmare. Some of the best hands I've seen out the backfield outside of Marshall Faulk. Athleticism. We were at a Tampa Bay game, and I'll never forget it. It was the 2000 prior to everything kind of going downhill with Cam's shoulder. And just
I forgot about that. Uh-huh.
You and I went to the game. It was my first time seeing Christian McCaffrey play live. I'll never forget him hurling the motherfucker and running for like 50 yards down the field. Yep. We looked at each other. I don't know if you remember. I was just like, fuck, Christian's really good, man. Like, he's really – and it just made me feel good to know that I was one of the few, not making it about me, but it's just – I always believed in him. Everyone was so worried about his size and how he would, fare in the NFL. He gained a shit ton of muscle. I think he gained damn near 20 pounds of muscle. Yeah, he did. He was physical. Had a good stiff arm. Just one of those players that you dream of having. I'll say this, and it's not to take a shot at our organization, and it never is. It's just the blunt, honest truth. Another prime that unfortunately went wasted to Carolina. Another prime player who wasn't able to get a ring in the prime of his career with such a stellar quarterback who was paired to get a ring with in Cameron Jarrell Newton, who had a situation practically of being sent away. In his case, being released, but always going to have a lot of respect for Christian. Great with the fans, super humble, man. One of the most modest guys ever walked through this organization. Yep. Humble. He could have, 400 yards on the ground. He'd be like, hey, I just got to get better. I love a player like that. That's why we got attached to Luke, to Thomas Davis, to Greg Olsen, to Cam. You know what I'm saying? To Christian. And, yeah, man, seeing him shoot up for another team today, it was tough because I would have loved to see him, get a ring in Carolina because that's where home's always going to be for him. So with all that being said, man, I just appreciate the great run we had, man, all the memories and kind of like Ron Rivera said, even though his exit interview out of Carolina when he got fired, man, it missed opportunities, man. We've missed some opportunities, but guess what? And this is my little parting shot to everybody, man. Listen, but that's in the past. Christian McCaffrey leaving is in the past. There's a bright future in Carolina without Christian, unfortunately, and unfortunately without Cam, unfortunately without Luke, and all the other greats. That's tough to say. And then today we got to move forward. Like the great Ray Lewis said, we can't worry about yesterday. Yesterday's gone, man. What you gonna do for me today? You gonna play for me today? So I attribute that to the future of this team. It's bright. All those grades are gonna smile down, or smile down upon us because they're half the people I just named, if not all of them, are gonna have their names retired up in the upper part of the stadium. And they're going to be proud because this younger generation has a lot of talent. I to see what it has in store. So let's keep pounding, man. Let's just keep backing our guys. And major shout out to Christian McCaffrey and all his contributions, man. Good luck in San Francisco. But most importantly, man, keep pounding. I wear this black and blue, and that comes first over any other player, any other thing in the way. God bless you, Christian McCaffrey. May you keep pounding too. You're forever a Panther. So.
Well said, sir. Well said. Like you just said, even though we wear the tutu and on the back it says McCaffrey, at the end of the day, it's about that logo right there. At the end of the day, that logo right here. The logo behind you, your hat, and on your sleeves. So, but hey, one time for the one time, baby. Do it with me. The old Christian salute. It's for you, Christian. 1, 2, up top, baby. We love you, Christian. That's the end of it. Don't ask again, but you're forever a Panther. All right, so as always, we thank you for joining us. We got our thoughts on Tampa. Hey, brighter days are ahead, as we said. But don't forget to follow us on every social media, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. That's all Don Ant Show username. Facebook and YouTube, which you're watching now, the Donnie and Anthony Show. So, and next week, when we play, who do we play next week, sir?
I hadn't even looked, honestly. I'm just trying to enjoy the day.
So let's give me there.
I need to know that.
I just hadn't looked myself, but real quick, I'll look for all of us. We are the Falcons on Sunday, 1:00. So another division rival. Could the Panthers be 3-0 in the NFC South with PJ Walker? You got to think, hey, things are looking good. So brighter days ahead. Hey, keep following us on all social media. Don Ant Show and the 3, the Donnie and Anthony Show, the DNA Show, because black and blue runs through our DNA. And as always, tell them, Big D.
Keep pounding, baby. Let's go.
Keep pounding. Next week versus the Falcons. Join us.
Okay. Turn me up a little bit. Oh, you know it's about to happen. We all good. We going in. Count it off. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game? I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the talking. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. Top chef, yeah. Back in the kitchen. Whipping up a dish to kill the competition. Yeah. Intermission over, last back to business. Genie in the bottle gave me 3 wishes. Woo. Wish 1, wish 2. I ain't need a 3rd. Didn't even need a 2. I just kept it going. The powers opposites is in my uniform. And got a mystique tipping like a unicorn. Can't you see the hunger in my eyes? As I'm staring at the people on the other side. Like I'm walking around with a loaded 45 finger on the trigger. It could go off in here anytime. Bow, bow. Ain't no warning shot. If you hear that pistol pop, it's a man down.